Hey guys, Matt from Soundrolling.com, and today we're going to talk about polar patterns and what they mean for your microphone, and some stuff you may not have thought about. So, what are we looking at? Well, essentially, if I actually bring up the microphone, this is what we're looking at roughly, wherever the capsule is, and that's kind of the middle spot, center right here. And we obviously have an interference tube, and that's what's giving us a kind of very curved response of some of these higher frequencies. So it's obviously not as wide as like a cardioid pattern. And I'll show you one in a second. But essentially, every time we go down one of these, we're going down -5. And essentially at this -10 mark, so every 10 we do is essentially, 10 decibels just as decibels themselves when they're compared against anything, essentially means 1/10. So it means kind of 10 times quieter in terms of intensity of whatever's coming in. So you can see the shotgun's doing its job of tailing these off pretty quickly, giving you quite a narrow range for a sweet spot down the center. Now on the right we have all the higher frequencies, so 16, 8 and 4, and all the others on the left. And we can see that even though it's still a tight pattern, it remains quite smooth even up until around the 8K mark. So we can still potentially get, even if we're slightly off axis, some pretty good sound. But you'll notice the more we go off, the more discoloration we get. And that's usually from the higher end frequencies. The low end ones tend to be still really strong. They can be obviously cut out at a later stage as well, depending on what you need. But tend to leave that more to post-production. We can talk about like low pass filters and stuff in later episodes, maybe tomorrow, I don't know. So what we're looking at here is a shotgun, obviously, and notice that the rejection is actually at a kind of 90 to, I guess, I don't know, 90 and 90, third of 90, 30 degrees, I guess, in between here. So it's not bang to the left or right, so horizontal won't do us much good, but it's kind of this back portion here. So anytime you need to reject something completely, say there's a road in the background, you don't want to be straight above, you want to kind of be to the side to reject the road that's to our right. If I show you a different type, so this is a hypercardioid, you'll notice that actually the frequency response is much more forgiving. It's a wider pattern, of course, both front and back. Higher frequencies retained more than the lower frequencies. But this is obviously better for groups, and it's just basically going to make it sound a lot better if you're in ideal circumstances for cueing. So cueing is essentially when we're moving the mic from one person, let's say over here, talking to over here. Because even if we're slightly late or someone spontaneously decides to say something, we can quickly cue, and all we're really doing is getting a slight reduction in sound. So you notice here that it's 5 all the way around to, I guess, the 60 degree mark, whereas on the other pattern, we go around to the 60 degree mark, and we're already nearly down to, I don't know, we're about the same. Yeah, it's cutting off a bit earlier, but it certainly starts to ramp up after that. Again, it's more about hearing these things than anything else. -5 there, so it is slightly wider and it starts to bring in a lot tighter. So you'll notice that also the noise reduction spot, or the dead spot, is still in the same place roughly, but it's a lot tighter. So obviously if you want to get rid of something, it's going to be a lot trickier. Polar patterns essentially don't tell you exactly the whole story, but they give you a better idea, especially once you take into account how it's going to kind of discolor the sound the more you get it off axis. It's obviously good and best to hear it, and trying to get those sweet spots before that reduction really kicks in is something that I'm going to try and work on for the app as well. Thanks to Alice Saint for suggesting that in Croatia. That was awesome. So until tomorrow, going to do another episode. Again, lots of post-production today, so maybe I'll do something on the spectral analyzer. Leave your comments below and I'll do a video tomorrow on something post-production related. And I'll just give my thoughts of what I do, and looking forward to hear what you do as well. Of course, you can always like, you can always subscribe to see me tomorrow, and most importantly, comment and share. So, until next time, see you later.